Well, the day has come. So I'll put the disclaimer out there that the figures are not quite ready to be in hand yet, but we do want to give a very exciting production update because things are happening. They're happening in real time. We have product to actually show you, and what we will be showing today are the final engineering pilot samples, basically the last test shots before the factory says, let's go. Now, just so you know, these test shots were approved pending a few tweaks, and then the factory is actually hard at work right now getting these figures going. So for those who don't know, Delta-17 is a O-ring 3¾ inch military line made by fans like myself and Steve, who will be bringing onto the stream shortly after here. And with the drop date being in November, we thought we should give everybody a real update as to what's going on, build up some of the excitement. So let's just get things going. Now, we asked a bunch of our friends to come on to here, people who've been able to spread the good word as far as Delta-17 is concerned. So a lot of you will already know some of these names, but hey, let's bring them on anyway. So what we've got here is the crew from the Toy Habits website. Namely, we got Michael. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yes, thanks for having me on, and super excited to see what you got.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thanks for being available for this particular stream. And yeah, I know, like you said, you're hard at work getting the website updated, and you like the product, so that's a win for us.
It's a plus, right?
How's life in California?
Life in Northern California is fantastic. It's beautiful outside, and so just enjoying a nice Sunday morning with y'all.
Awesome. Well, we've got your partner in crime here. She's been on this channel a whole bunch of times. One of my favorite people just to talk to about toys and life in general. So one of my best friends in the world right now, we've got the toy Sorceress.
Oh, Ken, how's it going? Good to see you too, Michael. I'm so excited for you, Ken, and this project is incredible. And I can't believe you're almost going into production. So this is awesome for you and the Delta-17 team.
Yeah, well, you know what? My understanding is, and Steve will correct me when he gets on here in a minute or two, but the tooling's at the factory now, and I don't know if in the last 48 or 72 hours they've actually started running the machines, but they were supposed to. So I'm like, it may actually be literally in production right now. And
how are you feeling? I mean, you must be so excited. That's incredible.
You know how hard it is for me to keep tight-lipped for as many years as I did? I started, Steve was on this project. He's been on this project since the end of 2019, maybe January 2020. I got onto the project in June and started doing some story and giving him some feedback on he'd come up with 2 different color patterns and say, which one do you think works better for our character? And we're developing the characters in the background. I had to stay so tight-lipped for so long. And we finally unveiled them at Joe Fest. I'm like, oh my God, here we are. So I can finally start talking, start doing what I do best,
That's awesome. That is so cool. I'm so excited for you guys. I mean, this is like a toy collector's dream, right? To be part of toy making history, and now you're releasing this incredible new O-ring line, O-ring, which is probably your passion, right? Because you're a huge Joe fan. I know you love the vintage stuff, and to be making your own set of O-ring figures, which personally is my favorite as well. I think that's so incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Absolutely. And thank you for being here. I know you've got a busy schedule these days. So thank you for being on, and for all that both of you do for bringing us toy news, etc. Yeah. So anyway, and a gentleman that we met at Joe Fest, even though he's been a good friend, patron of the channel as well, he's actually got a 1/18th related stream later on today, and he's becoming a master of the 1/18th world. He was on Toy Connections recently as well, and we just finished a collaboration on Transformers that's coming up very soon. Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, welcome back, my friend.
I'm ready. Production. I'm ready. Production. Let's do it. Come on. I want to see these figures.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Oh, I know. That's nice. Nice little poster back there, too. Thank you so much for having me, Ken.
Oh, that's right.
That's very nice to meet you, Michael, and Toy Sorceress.
Good to meet you, too.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and check out Will's stream after. His link is in the description below, as is all the Toy Habits social media portals and all the Delta-17 social media portals. But once we finish this stream, about an hour or maybe a little less after that, we'll be on with Jim Largo talking about like
The
118 stuff in general.
That's right. Yeah.
But we figured we knew you were.
Come on in.
We knew you were going to mention some Delta-17, so we thought, you know what, we may as well give you the information in real time as well. And our good friend Gazz was going to join us, but he sends his condolences. He had a personal thing to come up earlier today. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to bring Steve on here, who's normally he's normally asleep at this hour. So, Steve, I've stalled the stream for as long as it takes for you to get caffeinated, however you choose to get caffeinated. So thank you for being up early. We've managed to drag you out of bed. And this is the man, the creator of Delta-17, Steve.
Good day, sir. Hi, guys. How you doing? Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
He's bowing at me, not you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
even though we could have done it 2 minutes ago, but
yeah, that's right. That's right. Eh? Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So I know you've got some final production samples to show us today. So what I'll probably do is maximize your screen here momentarily, but let's just check in with the chat and see who happens to be around here. So let's just do this quickly as we can. Beta Ray Bob, we were just talking yesterday. Pericles, Dragon Ball Z. Jim Largo, who will be on with Will later on. Skyfall, one of the patrons of the channel. Silver K, our newest channel member. Payne's Toy Samples, who'll probably be moderating this chat in lieu of Gazz being around. Wilhelm is in 2 places at once. Nolan is around yet again. Yep. Thanos Copter, who we were just on Ozstradamus Toyz channel last night. We've got Jose Alcorn. We got Andrew Davis with his usual wrestling promo stuff. I know he was at PowerCon last week having a great time there. Who else is there? Scrolling. Toy Habits is in the house, and also it's in the house and in the house. Let's put it that way. Let's keep scrolling. Scuba Pete happened to make it. He just finished the collection. He just finished a collection tour on Chasing 80s Toys recently. We got TJC tuning in from the evening in Britain. And we got Jeff Morris and Coffee Cures All, even though I've got my Toy Habits cup and this is a glass of water. But there's coffee over here as well. And Toy Sorceress couldn't be left alone, so she figures she'd be in 2 places at once as well.
Had to, right? I love that mug. Where'd you get that, Ken?
A very good friend sent it through a very good friend. So yeah. Well, I don't see why we should delay any further. Steve, you got something to show us, or should I continue to stall?
Yeah, no, stall away, right? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've got all the samples here. Production should be happening right now. As far as we know, our product design manager is a bit busy at the time, but yeah, everything's sent off to the factory or the printers, and things should be in motion. I am really excited. You may have seen me on previous interviews. I was a bit hesitant, a bit withdrawn. That's because some of our samples weren't quite up to speed. Like, I'm really into everything being perfectly dialed, right? So now that we have things fully dialed, now I'm just like, oh yes, this is amazing. Like our earlier sample of Rooster, he's not polished here, so I wasn't, as much as I love the dude, I'm not fully excited about him at this point. But now I have samples of their finished state, and now it's just like, oh yes, this is just gorgeous stuff. So I'm going to turn this camera around. Please don't look. I'm in the middle of moving, so everything's going to be destroyed around me. So,
wow. We need some music.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's incredible. I'll be back in 1 second.
Delta-17.
We're in the shadows.
We've got our theme song already.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so everything's looking really good. We have a secret ingredient, so to speak, where we can have these guys all polished up, so they have that nice look that A-Ra had, that G.I. Joe had in the 80s and 90s. And that was something that was really special to me. I really wanted them to find out how to do this, how to make it happen. We're not going to spray them with some sort of lacquer or gloss polish or anything like that, but we want them to naturally have a high quality plastic and it looks high quality. When you pick it up, it feels, you know, the right weight, and they look like there's something that's worth the money that you're spending. So I mean, here we have, you know, a classic G.I. Joe. He has a bit of that shine to him, and you'll see on our Delta-17 figure, he's got that same nice shine to him as well. Again, there's no spray or anything like that, no gloss, no lacquer. He just naturally has this because of the plastics and the methods that we used. So, and we've got a whole bunch of other things dialed on him as well. The face mask tempo was stretched out a bit to fit him properly, and they're all looking good. They've all been dialed the way that we want them to be so far. So I'm very excited about it now. You know, I'm kind of one of these wet blankets. I only get excited when something has been polished up to a certain level, and really something that, you know, that of a higher quality. So
that looks incredible. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On his like little flak jacket and his mask and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, we put a lot of pouches on this guy. This guy's sort of the war daddy of the unit, so he's loaded for bear, so to speak. So the poor designer, I was just like, more pouches, all right.
As many pouches as you could fit, right? Because he looks awesome with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We even have a tattoo on his forearm there, but it's a bit hard to see. It's the Delta-17 skull.
Oh, that's so cool.
Under his forearm. But yeah, so we're pretty excited about him.
And some people have been asking, what kind of skull is that on the Delta-17 emblem? Curious to know what kind of animal it is. I asked you this once upon a time.
Okay, well, it's not an otter skull like this one. That's an actual otter skull. That's a river otter. So it's not that. But I do love showing it off. My family bought this for me because they know I'm an otter freak.
Is that like a real otter skull, or is it just like a sculpted?
No, that's real.
Oh, it's actual bone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the skull is a cougar skull. So I wanted it to be, you know, something a little bit different. Lions are always done and whatever. And so I thought, you know, just give it a slight twist, make it a cougar skull. So
there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got our Delta troopers. These guys are dialed in pretty nice. I'm loving them. We gave them a bit of a color twist to make them just a little bit brighter. They used to be a bit darker, and it was hard to see the contrast between their vest and their belts and different things like that. So now they've got a bit more of a poppy color to them, but they come with just a ton of accessories. So that's the fun part about them. You know, you got the removable law rocket, a little missile fits in there, and it comes with 3 missiles. So you got 2 that plug onto the pack, and then 1 that's inside the rocket. You got a K-bar knife on the side here.
I love
there
that.
It is.
I love the little knife holder in the backpack. It's so like,
yes,
shockwave, you know, 1985.
Yeah.
So yeah, the one thing we'll say is, I mean, for those of us who saw the previous test shot samples on Will's channel, those were the engineering pilot samples. Those are the first colored test shots. These are the final colored test shots. And this Delta Trooper in the green that we're looking at right now was originally a darker color, and we've since lightened up the color a little bit. So
yeah, we used to have him quite dark. He was this color, which looked cool, but you could not really see the difference in the vest.
You guys absolutely made the right move on lightening it, because that contrast looks fantastic.
All that detail really pops now. Good job.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Well,
so you can see the difference right on this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, Red Foreman. Thank you for the super chat. He's asking, what is this, a new 3.75 O-ring line? Absolutely it is, and need to add to Operation Recall and Longbow collection. Yes, Red Foreman, if you have any questions, message me or message Delta-17's Instagram anytime you want. or on Facebook as well. You've been a good supporter of the channel, so we're happy to answer any questions that you happen to have. But yeah, absolutely. And we did meet and have a good conversation with both Carson from Operation Recall and the call sign Longbow Gentleman, Troy and John at Joe Fest. So yeah, and the Skeletron folks and the Strike Force Alpha folks and the Legends of the Hidden Force people, everyone, like we all got together at Joe Fest and had one big O-ring festival. So, and none of us had true other than Skeletron with their oh my goodness, Skeledrones. None of us had any product left. So just imagine what Joe Fest 24 holds for us.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah. Is that like some stuff he has in his backpack, like?
Yeah, it's a gas mask that you can actually attach to his face. It's a little bit tricky to get it on sometimes, but once it sits well. And the good thing is, you put it in the pack, it's not going to fall out. It actually kind of clips in there. So it's a PVC mask. So,
that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love that it stows in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's good fun, right? It's good fun.
Yeah.
And then you can get variety in those, so you can troop build them.
Yeah. We have two different face colors. Like there's not a lot of skin there that you can see on his face, but there's a little bit. So we have African American and our usual Caucasian blend, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So it is 11 unique figures, but with the Delta Squad coming in 2 different ethnicities, you can say it's actually 12. Right. So, 11 unique packaging, but yeah, Delta Squad was meant as an army builder anyway. So
yeah,
collect all 12.
Collect all 12. Right.
That whole line
and whatever else.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very kind. So yeah, there's just so much fun. I don't know why, but I'm just the kind of guy that is just like, once everything is, it's got to be a really, really high quality, or I don't want to do it. And once it gets to that level, then it's like, yes, now I'm excited. Until then, I'm just working, right? And someone asked me on a different stream, and I hadn't really thought about it before. They asked, so is this something that you've always wanted to do, make your own O-ring line? And I was just kind of like fuddled, and it took me some reflection. It's like, yeah, when I was like 13, right? I was designing my own line of G.I. Joe. I had a binder full of my own characters and stuff like that. But until between then and now, I never even thought it was possible to do my own O-ring line. I've always wanted to make cartoons, comics, toys. I've got binders full of writing and drawings of every kind that I've been doing for 30 years. But I never thought it'd be possible to actually do any of this. Like, how do you just get stuff done in a factory? And it just all kind of fell into place. Well, not fell into place. It's with a lot of hard work, asking a lot of stupid questions to a lot of people, until you find the right people, and you just keep pushing and pushing, right?
100%. Yeah. Oh, well, just take it all in. Take it all in, right?
Awesome. Let's dive into some more of these guys. These look great.
Yeah, well, thank you. This is Preacher. He's not our sniper. He's our marksman. So he's with Marine Force Reconnaissance Unit. And he comes with 2 guns, a bipod, and a backpack, and both guns clip onto his backpack, so that's kind of nice. You can carry them both in there. And he's quite a unique figure. He stands at 4 inches tall. So we have 2 guys. 2 of our guys are going to be a bit taller, right? We wanted to do some.
I love that. Yeah.
We wanted to do some height variations. We also hope to make some short people in the near future, but we're just waiting right now to do that later. So these 2 guys here are both 4 inches tall. I think with a Rooster's mohawk, he actually clocks in just a little bit over 4 inches. But yeah, so this is Preacher, really cool dude. He wears a retro Harley Davidson leather jacket from the 70s, and he's got his camouflage pants on. It's got a lot of nice color composition to him, and of course the rifles clip onto the
Steve,
pack.
he's been updated since the paint master that you showed at Joe Fest, right?
A little bit, yeah. Not a heck of a lot, but a little bit.
Yep. And we are going to increase the pressure a little bit to thicken up the head just a tiny bit, right, Steve? Yeah, because these final ones,
Yeah.
the heads were just about 10% thinner than we wanted.
Yeah, that head there is a little bit thinner. Like they sent me the updated heads that will be coming out of the machine for production. So they're measuring in at some of them are 0.7 millimeters wider and different things like that we needed them to be. So yeah, this guy will be just a touch thicker, right?
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
attention to detail, even his crucifix that he has hanging on his neck, that small detail there, I never noticed before. Fantastic.
It's amazing what they can do. It just blows my mind, right? And this production company this production studio that we're working with through our product design manager, these guys are some of the best. We were talking to an ex-Hasbro employee a couple days ago, me and Ken, and he said, "Oh, you guys got that product design manager." He's like, "Holy cow!" He was blown away. He's like, "We've worked with him for, what did he say, like 20 years, and he's possibly the best that he knows."
The best you could get. Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you want to reveal here, Steve, but Red Foreman, thank you again for the super chat. Let's get down to brass tacks. When are vehicles coming? Not even mentioning play sets I need to world build. So we made a fan out of Red Foreman, and I'm biting my tongue right now. It's I can feel the teeth pressing against my tongue at this point in time.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you that, Red Foreman.
Vehicles are in the works. We have something special coming as a Wave 1.5 that we hope will be in our hands to sell at Joe Fest next year. It's it's vehicle related. It's not Wave 2, so don't expect another 12 figures. That's not happening.
Yes.
But it is something that's vehicle related, and I think people will enjoy it, and that's all that I'm going to leave it as. For Wave 2, we're hoping for one vehicle absolutely for sure, and I would love to do two, but that might be a bit too blue sky. So we'll see.
And our weapons, they are based on real life.
Yes, there's one custom. We have one custom that I bought off a guy on ArtStation. So that's for Shadow Dragon. That's the Surrogate by what's his name? He's from Sweden or Finland. He's Wotan Kroon or something like that. And he just made a beautiful gun. We had to modify it just slightly so it can actually fit inside a guy's hands. But it's very popular. If you go on artstation.com and you type in the Surrogate, you'll find so many people have tried their own versions of it after this one fellow created it. It's quite an interesting little submachine gun. Let me see if I can show the other side of it. Yeah, there we go. So a nice long extended clip.
Gosh, even the detail down to the weapons. I love that you're just basing these off of real weapons and also just making custom ones, because it just shows the attention to detail and quality that you're pouring in to this whole line. I am super impressed with this whole lineup and the foresight you have with stowing all the weapons on their backs.
Well, thank you.
Like that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
We drove a few designers a little crazy.
That's what you should do. I mean, like you are sticklers for quality, and if it's not up to par, it's not going to get made, and that's another reason why I love this line.
Yeah. So we wholeheartedly appreciate that. Like Tommy, who's been in the comment section here before, like he and Steve went back and forth with a billion iterations, right? And Tommy's got a good pedigree.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of work for Mondo before.
Yes.
Right. So he comes with a great portfolio of stuff, but like the amount of iterations we still had to go through just to dial these in, just absolutely like matching Steve's vision to Tommy's sculpting ability was, a big process in of itself. But you see the result at the end. Like there were a lot of nights, at midnight, 1 a.m, I'm talking to Steve. I'm like, Steve, just accept the design already. And Steve would say things like, Ken, when it's colored up, you will see the difference in that detail. And I'm just like, Steve, you're at 99%. Take the win. Take a knee. Take a knee at the end zone right now. You don't need the full end zone dance right now.
Nope.
And he's sitting there like, we're gonna get that extra 1%. Nope, absolutely. And he would do it, and then he'd push another 1% when he could, and all these little details, like you said, like, Will, you notice the cross on Preacher, right? Yeah. So
I think we're all going to be very glad you did, Steve. So, as much as it was maybe painful in the process, we're all going to appreciate that, and we're glad you did. You're the kind of guy that you need in charge of this stuff, because if it was me, oh my God, these things would look like 5-year-olds.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it'd be that. Actually, 5-year-old in their imagination
a
probably.
Companion there on one of these. I think it's the bearded character. I don't know his name. I apologize, but
Oh, Leonidas. What were you asking? Sorry.
Does he have a pet companion in front of him?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome.
So he
awesome.
comes. He
Oh,
comes
look
with
at
a
that.
little German Shepherd dog that he found in a village while he was on a mission. And in the future, we'll see this dog grow up. And so when this guy comes out as a Wave 2 kind of version, we'll have him as a big, useful, trained dog. In the meantime, right now, he's sort of your idiot savant that just is a puppy, right? So he wrecks things, he messes things up from time to time. But he also has a removable dog bowl, so that was the highlight of Joe Fest this year. Like, dog bowl, right? So
This one looks incredible. Look at all that detail on him. He's got multiple tattoos.
Yeah,
and,
he's got.
I love the use of the shorts rather than long pants, like to give him a variety of looks, because he's got like his tank top and shorts on, and you can tell he's just been out and getting wild there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that you added different body shapes and styles, the taller figures,
He looks funkier,
this
too.
buff guy. I mean, that wasn't easy to do, and gotta say, appreciate that you did that.
And the tats.
Yeah, for sure. Like across the whole line, people have asked me, how many bucks do you have? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, because every character has its own tooling. We haven't shared any parts except for on one guy. We took biceps from one figure and the forearms from another figure. That's it. So so we're basically at 99.995% unique parts for these figures. But yeah, this guy's quite a bit bigger. We've got just one tattoo on his leg so far. So in version 2, he's probably going to get a few more. He might change his, his uniform a bit. We want to do a vacation edition is probably what he's going to be, because he just doesn't look laid back enough right now, right?
He did not skip leg day.
No.
Yeah. So
quads are massive.
When people talk about a tooling buck, we're not always sure whether they're talking about just the basic figure template with 0 details, or whether they're talking about sculpted details on top. Because like when you have a figure buck, the torso, the legs, the arms, even the head, you get all that completely blank, but you still need unique tooling and additional sculpting to get the details, like the vest on, etc. So we have the regular size buck completely blank, the taller buck and the female buck. But are those really bucks, like template bodies, or is each sculpt on top of the buck, which is unique and tooled up unique, are those now bucks as well? I don't know, right?
Yeah,
and people interchange it here and there,
right?
Like
exactly,
like they'll suddenly say like Cobra Eel buck and Torpedo are on the same body, but there's some details that are different. Maybe that's not the best example, because those are very close. But like Flint and Duke might be on the same basic buck, but like the pockets are positioned differently.
I think it more has to do with the proportions of the body, because Absolutely. I guess on a buck you could add or remove details and change them out. But the height variation within a line is something that you don't usually see. A lot of 3 3/4 inch GI Joe O-ring, they're all pretty much the same height, depending, and that's always something that's kind of bothered me, because you got
passing buck. Nice.
Yeah, but I really love that you guys have variety of body types and just really changing it up like that, and then heights as well. just gives each is an individuality that makes the character look that much more special.
Even the attention to detail with the coloring too. Just I'm noticing I love the color blue that you used. It reminds me of the Tiger Force Hit and Run Euro exclusive, but you've also tied that blue color into his socks, which again is just showing the detail that you take.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. So here's one Kestrel. She is our Polish girl. Her face, I don't like showing it straight on right now because the pressure wasn't high enough in her mold, and we got it resized. We pushed our production date back 2 weeks just for her head to make it a bit wider. So this version right here is 0.8 millimeters wider than that version. We didn't want some funky looking, person compared to the rest. So I really am in love with her strange green combo that we've got going here, sort of a split pea green with a nice deep forest, well, not forest green, I don't know what you would call that. But she's our Polish Special Forces. She's from JW Grom. She was grafted into Delta-17 just sort of out of the blue. You'll see why and how in the comic book. And she has a backpack with I guess that's what do you call that? A stiletto dagger, and a radio that's molded onto the backpack. And then her gun is an M14 with a 203 on the bottom there, and an IR laser on the side, and red dot and all that stuff. So she's really neat. She's going to be an interesting character. Her name's Kestrel.
Yep. The youngest member of Delta-17.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So Ken, tell us a little bit more. Did you come up with like all the bios and fact stories, or what was the role that you played in all of this work?
Yeah, so like Steve had the character ideas in mind, and we would sit down for sometimes hours, and we would just write the bios. Like he'd be like, I want this character to carry this weapon. Kestrel is from the Polish Special Forces. She learned this at this age, but it was like notes, right? We need to touch on these points, make it flow in a bio that's similar to what you can relate to with the old school real American hero. And we did the same thing with the first issue of the comic. Like Steve knew the flow he wanted to go with, and then we'd have to like translate that into like a full-on story. So the bios were, I guess you could say, co-written by me and Steve. Ideas from him, authorship by me. One of the things I have the most pride in is that War in the Shadows tagline was something that I just threw out at Steve about 2 years ago. And he was like, we need that real American hero, more than meets the eye, heroes in a half shell type of tagline. And I think I threw out the word like shadow warfare or something. And Steve was like, it sounds too Call of Duty-ish. I'm like, okay, fine. War in the Shadows. And he's like, and Steve says he never really gets excited. He's like, I'm gonna have to call you back on that one. And then the next day he's like, we're fixing that in. And then just other than that, just helping him get resources, like people to help us sculpt, people to help us do the website, people to kind of like his gopher dude / author, co-author, and gopher is really what I am. So yeah
exactly.
Wow.
No, you do a lot here, man. You do a lot. If I was to take notes, it'd be a long line of notes. So
this is my dude right here. This is my favorite character.
Rooster.
Oh, I love him. Rooster's just...
He looks like he jumped right out of 1988-89 G.I. Joe Real American Hero. From the late Mark Pennington era of G.I. Joe design. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. So again, this guy is 4 inches tall. He comes with an FN Scar rifle. He is our temporary radio man. He doesn't really enjoy it. He doesn't really talk. He's one of these strong silent types, but they've given him the radio, so he's quite reluctant to call in or even answer the frickin' thing. But he's just too stoic, right? But his backpack is pretty unique in that we can take it off here. Hang on a second. So there's our dude. He comes with the rifle. But in the backpack, the antenna comes off. It'll come with 2 antennas in case you lose one.
Nice.
I love the homage to the Falcon's antenna there.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So and the little. Yeah, totally. The little radio has its own back peg, so you can actually wear the radio. You can give the radio to Rooster. He can wear it all on his own or to another guy. And then the little handset here, the phone, so to speak, can come off. And then we've got your regular sort of 64 style pack frame with a pack bag on the bottom. But the cool thing is the little bag comes off as well, just in case you want to pretend. Got to load it up and all that stuff. So here's your basic frame, right? And it all goes together back into one backpack. So we wanted to do a multi-pack system. And we've done that with the Okami Robot Ninjas. And we've done that with this guy, a multi-pack system. So when it's all together, it looks pretty dope.
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Imagine if you were a kid playing with these accessories. Like that's the one thing that I really like about the accessories is you can build them, you can stow weapons in them, and you can also just make them look super different. And they're all unique, and they just add to the displayability of this line.
Yeah, it's all about trying to figure out, like, what would it be like if you're a kid? What would be the most exciting, funnest thing, right? And so that makes it fun. But I really am enjoying that part. And we've got some figures planned out for Wave 2 that we've got some funky accessories figured out already as well. So yeah, it's always fun to be like, oh, let's do this, and it clips onto that, and then you can pull it in half and blah blah, and it's like, yes, that totally makes a figure sometimes.
Obviously, you guys have foot pegs on these because they're on stands. So are these figures compatible with, let's say, like Small Joe stands or things like that? Those are kind of the most common. Do they have the same peg hole, or are they a unique size that it's going to use a unique stand?
They come with their own stands, and it is slightly unique. What we've done is we've done a lot of hexagonal holes into cylindrical pegs. Now these guys, their feet will fit nicely onto a G.I. Joe vehicle, but a G.I. Joe foot won't fit very well on their stands. The sizing is
great that they have their own stands. That's awesome that they come with those.
So if you wanted to load up your Snowcat or your Vamp or whatever with a bunch of these guys, they will sit on there, no problem. But if you were to take Chuckles and try to put them on this exact stand, it'll be a bit loose for Chuckles, right? So
I think Chuckles wants to hang out with Leonidas right about now. Looking at that right now, yeah. Anyway,
go get some pina coladas, right?
40 people watching right now. Everyone hit that like button. Spread this out. This the word on this line.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's really cool. So this guy's Shadow Dragon. So he's sort of our samurai themed leader of the bad guys. So he's at the very tippy top. And he was quite complex to make, with all the extra stuff we wanted on him. The front of his face is an extra piece. The front and rear of his shoulder armors are extra pieces, as well as his forearm armor. And
I really like how the shoulders look, they stand out, but they don't hinder his articulation. That was a really good detail that you put there.
Yeah. I mean, they'll hinder it a bit if you want to do the reverse, arms up in the air. The reverse cross-eyed kind of surrender pose won't work as well as some, classical G.I. Joes, but, that's fine. And he comes with a soft goods. I think it's a satin cape. I can't remember if we went with silk or satin.
Look at that.
That's awesome. So the cape's actually attached underneath his shoulder armor or whatever it is, so that it's not going to come right off. That's great.
And the good news is if you really want to, this shoulder armor piece can be taken off. We decided, why not just do it maybe someone doesn't want to. So the shoulder piece comes off here.
Yes.
And it snaps right back on. The cape falls off. And now it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to do it on air. It's not hard to put it back on. It's just my meat mitts aren't what they used to be, right? So if you want to have, you know, just a casual night in, and he doesn't want to wear his suit and tie and all that stuff, he can go without his cape. So
I love that you can display the swords with his cape on, and you can actually see them show through.
Yes.
Instead of the cape hiding the swords. It's a great addition.
Yeah,
You see that a lot in other toy lines where it's like they didn't pay attention to that detail.
Right.
You know, the cape either obscures or blocks the weapons from being, you know, displayed.
Hey, Steve.
Right. Yo.
Look who's here. Look who's here.
What you got? Ah, nice. All right. Hey, Tommy, how you do? Yeah, we got a wire at the bottom of the cape too, so you can slightly pose it. I mean, it's not super huge, so you won't be able to pose it like crazy, right? But just a little bit of a curl.
You can get a little, you know, dynamic windswept look or something for him.
Yeah, and we angled our sword holders just right so that when you got these things sitting in here properly, the tips almost touch, which I thought was just kind of a neat look. You know, we wanted everything to just have a really specific kind of a look, right? So,
yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite character, or one that's kind of close to your heart, or, you know?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. I can't answer that. That's like when someone asks, you know, which child is your favorite, right? I got 4 kids. You can't say that one out loud, right?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I tried to get you drunk at Joe Fest and tell me which one was your favorite, so that, you know, next time I see Angie, I could tell her what you said. But then, you didn't have enough alcohol for me to get that out of you on the Saturday night.
I know. I've slowed down on my drinking. I'm sorry. I'll try harder next time, but I don't.
I love with that particular figure, you're also just paying homage to some of the outfits that samurai warriors actually wore. And with I don't know what they're actually called, but it's the red outfit on his thighs.
Yeah, I studied a bunch of that stuff, and as quickly as I would learn it, I would also unlearn it. Just because, you know, a lot of them are random Japanese names, and I'm like, oh boy, I'll never remember it. So yeah, it's all gone now. But a bunch of the stuff is in there. You know, I really enjoyed the thigh armor for sure, and different parts like that. We have a plate on his butt. I don't know if you guys could see that earlier. I guess I'll take it apart again too. Alley-oop. So he's got a bit of plate armor on his butt there as well, which looks kind of cool.
You got to protect the goods, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know,
family jewels.
Yeah.
Michael's favorite saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's got
Vince McMahon's favorite saying, right?
Right.
It had to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Nice. Let's try to get this flipping cape back on. Sorry about this. There we go.
So guys, I see, you know, you're talking about a $25 price point, which is incredible. How do people order these if they want to get these figures? These look so amazing. Did you guys already take pre-orders on them? Are you going to be selling them through your website? How do we get these incredible figures in our hands?
I'll pack your box personally myself, if that helps. I promised Will the same. I guess I can promise Michael the same.
Thank you.
Just to take a few off of Steve's plate.
Yeah. We're not. We're not doing pre-orders just yet. As far as stores go, we're still reaching out to a handful of them. We'll let everyone know the full roster, you know, as time goes by. But yeah, they will be for sale, available through our website, and we will go from there. So just keep an eye on our socials as well as on our website, and we'll let everyone know. For now, we're just focusing on, you know, development and all that stuff, production, and we'll let everyone know in about 2 months as to where to pick them up and how and all that.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we don't want to do the pre-order system yet right now is because we really want to focus on learning the process right now. Not to take away from anyone who does that, because maybe they already know the process, but like there's a lot of stuff that we just learned in the last couple of months. we're like, oh, that's how you do it. And it's very basic and very fundamental. But when you don't come from a toy background like we don't, it's hard to do that. And we kind of know that, okay, because we didn't do a Kickstarter, you know, which more often than not having a Kickstarter is a detriment because you don't get that upfront marketing. But we can leverage that into our strengths by saying, well, that means we'll have less questions about where's my order, and we'll use that time to kind of hone the rest of our craft that, you know, we feel a little bit behind on. So that's how it is, right? And yes, we will ship internationally. I don't know what it's going to be like per country, though we kind of have to because we're from Canada, so we can't say we won't ship internationally. Given that we are international, and early thoughts about 6-inch right now, Tim. Not 100% sure yet, but we're kicking the tires at it. And by kicking the tires, I mean I just text Steve every couple of weeks to remind him we need to do a 6-inch line.
It's like baby stuff, right?
One thing at a time.
Yeah. So anyway, look at this.
Well, let us know how we can help get the word out as well. We'll be happy to cover these on Toy Habits and help get out in terms of the order and cover these gimmicks because they are incredible. And so any way we can help, let me know.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you.
Yep. Toy Habits has built a very good footprint in the last 2 years in the toy community, particularly in the G.I. Joe, Motu, and independent toy space. So we're glad to have them both as friends and allies on this thing, because it's good that it's not just a business transaction with Michael and the Sorcerers. Like, we will actually talk about toys we like, toys we don't like.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. You guys have come across on my radar just independently outside of Delta, so it's you guys are having an impact for sure.
Happy to be of help. I mean, this is an incredible product that you guys have obviously put so much thought, so much love, so much care into, and to have a toy line that is coming from, you know, toy collectors with a passion and a history for O-ring figures, to be able to do your own, just kind of like the best of all worlds. And that's just going to get you some incredible product, because you know that every little bit of these things have been thought about, and just so much attention to detail. So you guys are doing it right. Good.
Okay, well, thank you. That's very kind. Nice. Did you want to hit any of those questions there, Ken, or what do you want to do?
I mean, like, I'm just answering them as we go. Like, you know, how much will these be has been asked a few times. We said 25 USD is our plan right now. When we ship in hand, if we can get them even $1 cheaper, we will try, but plan on 25 USD. Any thoughts on vehicles? That was answered by you earlier on the Wave 1.5. We have a vehicle-ish idea in mind that has started, you know, we're past the conceptual phase for that and starting to execute a little bit, but we can't say too much because we don't know what it's going to look like, because that one's very, very unique. And Red Foreman, thank you once again. Very generous with all your super chats today, and pretty much anytime you're on here. Any plans for characters in different looks, Arctic or night missions or animal companions? Steve, I know you've got a good answer for this one.
Okay, as far as animal companions go, that one I want to take a bit slowly. I probably won't go past one per wave. So, you know, if wave 2 is, let's say, another 12 figures, there'll probably be one in there. It's just something I want to do a bit slowly, you know, compared to other aspects. I do love the animals, but it's just, I don't know why. I can't really put it in words why I want to do it a bit slowly. It's got to make sense sort of in the story, I guess. And so yeah, we'll leave it at that. As far as vehicles, Arctic gear, night missions and stuff like that. Okay. Yes, Arctic, desert, different themes are coming. They will probably be tied into the plot of the comic. So if the comic is heading to the Arctic, then we'll have a more Arctic based loadout for wave 2. You know, if they're going to the desert, maybe wave 3 will be more desert oriented. We might put out stuff as well as just, you know, like 3 packs of like desert versions. So, you know, maybe you'd get Shepherd and 2 Delta Squad troopers in desert colors, and they just come in a 3-pack for a reduced cost, because you know, by the time you're into redoing them, let's say you redo this guy, well, the tooling's already done, right? So we don't have to charge 25 anymore for him, because his tooling's already done, paid for. We're just injecting him with a new color. And you know, it would be quite easy to do a couple of Delta troopers and maybe Shepherd, or maybe just 2 Delta troopers, because in case you want to get like, holy cow, I want a whole bunch of desert Deltas, so it might be better to do 2 Deltas as desert, so that way you can buy 3 or 4 of them, and then not have like 3 or 4 Shepherds that you're like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this guy? He's an individual, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Look at G.I. Joe and all their Snake Eyes, right? You know.
Well, yeah.
I have at least 2 from Classified.
Yeah.
You can never have too much. I don't know. Anyway,
17 Snake Eyes.
17 different Snake Eyes.
Yeah, right, eh?
Still Wind 87. Thank you for the super chat there. Ask us any thoughts on working holsters. We had that for the 4-inch modern line, I think, for some of the figures.
Yeah.
Ooh, working holsters. I'm
I'm not sure. I'm totally on the fence with that one. I love stuff that works. I love stuff that stows away. I know when me and Tommy were working on this this first wave, it was something that he was always itching to do. And the holsters always kind of look big and chunky, right? And they look so off kilter. They throw all the proportions, the sculpt off a bit. So I'm always hesitant, but at the same time, I love stuff that works. I love stuff that stows away. So it's a real 50-50 for me. They look kind of ugly and they throw the balance off. And to me, balance and proportion is very, very important. So, but I also love function. And so I really don't know. I'm totally schizophrenic on that one. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, because, when I see them on a figure, I'm really excited, but I do find them to be quite fiddly, and sometimes the fitment isn't correct, and it also does it's a tough choice, and I think you made the right choice here. So, I'm fine with them.
I feel like they work better in a larger scale, like more of a 6-inch scale for a working holster versus a 3 3/4 inch or 4-inch figure.
Yeah.
Whoa!
What the heck? Holy cow!
Whoa!
Someone's got a tip. Yeah.
Wraith Mace, you have me floored, because you're already a top tier Patreon supporter, and thank you for setting the super chat record on Toy Connections. I guess I'm packing your order manually as well, at the minimum.
Yeah.
Ken, I need a Delta-17 figure to look like me in my gear. Let me know who I need to throw money at, sir. I mean, the money would go to the factory, and it's actually a pretty... I was going to say that, you know, I've seen some of Wraith Mace's cosplay. I think if he got a Shepherd and was able to customize it by himself in, like, paint and all that, I think that would work.
Huh.
So,
interesting.
I think, like, he was messaging me on the side here while you were talking, and I'm just like,
well, here's a question, because I know Lone Wolf Toys, who I follow on Instagram, they're doing a 3 3/4 inch selfie series. They just announced where he's able to take, and just from photos, if you take a head-on, side, and back photos, you'll sculpt a head for you. Steve, are these compatible with like older O-ring lines, like G.I. Joe Real American Hero, the head swaps? Could that work?
Yes, all the parts. Yeah, all the parts will work for everything swappable except for the females. The heads on the females, we wanted to give them a bit more of an hourglass figure. Like, you know, if you look at Lady J, she's got huge quarterback shoulders or whatever, linebacker. I don't know my football. Right. And so it was like, well, we want to give her more slightly petite, and then, you know, sort of bring it in at the waist a little bit. You can't go out too far with the hips because of the J hook or the T hook or whatever you want to call it, and the spacing in between. So it's like the only way to really do that is to suck it in at the waist a bit, and then bring the shoulders in a little bit to give her more of a feminine look. So in order to do that, we had to really sacrifice the head, the neck ball. So you can see here, this is Death Sparrow's neck ball. It's almost non-existent. It goes straight down to a little ball, and it hooks in there really nicely. It's not loose or anything like that. You're not going to suffer any sort of weird issues with it. But you cannot do a head swap with her and Zorana or what have you. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So that's the one thing that you can't do.
Yeah. Brave Maze, I'm just letting your super chat hang in the air for a little bit because I don't know what else I don't know what else I can give you. Other than the best recognition possible.
Can we say we're not worthy?
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
We're gonna give the Reigns world.
Yeah. So Still Wind 87, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the answer. He says, is there a 4-inch modern line coming too, or just 6-inch? A lot on the go.
Yeah, 4-inch modern. No, we're not looking at that. That's for sure. 6-inch, I would love to do at least 2 just to give them a trial run. And I don't know exactly what year. I don't want to make any promises just yet as to when it's going to happen. I know we want to be able to do it. My main thing is always quality. So if it looks like we can't do it in a quality type way where we have loose, arms are popping off or weird things like that, then I don't want to do it at all. So, if we were to do 6-inch, we would do it. I'm not going to tell you who we would do with my words, but we would try 2 different figures.
My 2 favorite figures. Oh my God. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
So,
how'd you do this? How'd you know?
Well, I asked you, and I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep, kind of thing.
Play the music right now. Red Foreman, thank you for the super chat. So it's $100 tip for personal package attention. To know Australian with a kangaroo. Ooh. Just saying.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Red Foreman, you know what? All your super chats have added up to probably over $100 already as it is. So it's like, hey, just you're, great. And this probably came in before you showed her, but Tommy is very proud of his Death Sparrow.
Oh yes, we're getting to Death Sparrow. Well, okay, all right. Well, Tommy, he can pull some weight here. This poor guy.
Yes.
He's
here in the chat. Thank you. This is my favorite figure of all time.
And
I absolutely love her. I'm gaga over this character in this figure.
She is. Oh my God. She is so well done. And the funny thing is, with working with Tommy, it was just an absolute pleasure. The poor guy, I didn't know much, and I was so nervous about what the factory can and cannot do. I didn't know that we would end up with the world's greatest product design manager, right? Straight out of Hasbro after 20 years and all that stuff. So I was always sweating about, will this come out of the mold? Will that work? Anyways, the guy, the interesting thing is his first figure was Rooster. He nailed it amazingly first time. And after that, he just beautiful work, right? Second one, Death Sparrow. And here her face again is a little bit thin. So we're off by about not quite a millimeter. You can see that this face is a bit fuller. Much nicer. So we had her head retooled as an emergency, thing so that during that 2-week period where we had adjustments made, we did a couple of the heads just so they'd be a little bit wider, so they looked a bit more realistic. I know they're toys, but I don't want them to really look like toys, right?
Yeah.
In some aspects. So this retooled head is a lot nicer, looks a lot fuller. This one here, even though it is our FEP sample, the final product will come out with the correct head. So this head is just a little bit thin, but she is still quite beautiful. She's
stunning. Look at her.
Yeah, we're really, really pleased with her. So she's got a lot of good contrast with her brown leather belts and stuff like that. Doesn't have a lot of accessories or anything like that, but we thought, with characters that are a bit more powerful, and sometimes the design is perfect when it's simple, and sometimes it's perfect when it's complicated. And for her, she is just sort of perfect on her own. I'll put her gun out of the way here so you can see. We did some pouch work on her torso here.
Wow.
And she's got some really interesting belts that look really cool.
Great.
Yeah, she's.
Color too.
Can I ask Steve and Scope Viper Tommy? Was there any inspiration for her design? Because she reminds me of a character, and from the '80s, and I'm just curious if you guys see that as well.
Okay, well, I'm not sure which character you see. I don't.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That is Sergeant Callahan from the Police Academy series, played by Leslie
Nice.
Easterbrook.
Was not expecting that one.
No.
Okay, if it's just a coincidence, but she was a stunning blonde. She was very tall, and just had that imposing figure. And I just got the kind of like the vibes from that. But
Yeah.
if it's a coincidence, it's a happy one. And I love her just the same. So
Nice. That's cool. No, I never thought of that. Yeah, that's a good one. I finally rewatched one of those, I think a couple months ago. I was like, wow. But yeah, she comes with an AKS 74U, or is it an AKU 74S? I can't remember, but with a drum mag. So the drum mag is always good. It always signifies that someone is here for maximum violence, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was getting a little bit of an Annie Lennox vibe from her face for some reason.
Yeah.
You're right. Very much so. Yeah.
That's where my head went.
But
you know what? I mean,
beautiful.
if we're going pie in the sky, I already told Steve if this becomes a movie, I'm asking the girl who played Britta on Community to play this girl.
I want to be in the movie.
All just stunning women. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
that we got a movie deal. Oh, sorry.
No, I was thinking, that's all.
She's cool.
Okay, we got a movie deal offer at Joe Fest already, which was so bizarre. It's like, dude, these aren't even developed at all. Well, we're not going with it. Don't worry. Some things are a bit early, right? It's like, no. So yeah, she got an old style grenade molded onto her backpack there. She's sort of she's not that old, but she loves the older ways, the old Soviet Union and all of its glory and all that stuff. She wishes to return to the days of pride and strength and glory.
Yeah.
So she actually she'll rebuild her own sort of potato masher grenades, and then there's this bigger pouch here that's for an extra drum, of course. And yeah, we're really excited about her. She's a fantastic figure.
Yeah.
Well,
she's
nailed it.
Bravo on this figure.
Right
she seems to be the one everybody wants. Like everybody wants a lot of the figures here, but we're getting a lot of comments on her. So yeah, she's not old per se. Like she's listed as 32 on the file card. But yeah, like she's seasoned enough and studied enough of her history. And because we are, I mean, sorry, what?
I said 32 is the new 25.
Yeah, right.
How I feel.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, and she's going to be the leader of Retrograd. So just to be clear, in case people are wondering how our bad guys are set up, this guy is the leader of the Dark Shadows. So he's Japanese in his ethnicity. They're based off of a small island off the coast of Japan. Japan has a ton of islands, right? So we have no idea where just yet, but he hires these disgruntled, Russians that kind of long for the days of the old Soviet Union, that are just to be paid better and eat some good food and just enjoy blowing things up. So yeah, we're going to see these two work hand in hand. These two teams, they're almost indistinguishable. They're like one unit, but they still have their own flavors, their own preferences, and there's from time to time they'll kick against each other. So that is Death Sparrow. I'll show you a bit more, the two more elements of the Dark Shadows, and then we'll get back into Retrograd. So with the Dark Shadows, the Shadow Dragon here, the top dude, he has unlimited funding pretty much, and we'll find out that his unlimited funding actually comes from our very own governments, a lot of it from the United States government.
Wow.
So we've got what's called the Dark State is funding these bad guys at the top that shouldn't be at the top. Well, they're taking bribes. They're sending taxpayer money over for fake, foreign aid and different things like that. That gets funneled over to here, so this guy can steal trade secrets, build an underground army, and basically control the world. So he has an unlimited, pretty much from what we can tell, army of these robot ninjas. So they come with a whole ton of accessories. On the back here, you have 2 long swords, so 2 regular katanas. And then you have 2 little hand swords. They clip in over here. So you can take his hands off and you plug these on. Then he's got a little submachine gun that clips onto his hand. So both hands come off, right? So you can take them both off, and they actually plug onto the backpack. There's a couple of little posts there.
Oh, how cool.
And they are compatible with your bats accessories. So
that is so awesome.
Oh, that's
I'll take you to that.
So if you want to put some of this stuff on your bats, you can do it. If you want to put the bat stuff on him, you can do that. So the little hand swords, you put those on. Just give me a second here.
Yeah. Can I just say, this is like the chocolate peanut butter? It's like, you got ninjas in my bats. You got bats and ninjas. It's even better now. It's just so awesome. It's the best of both worlds.
Nice.
Wow, look at that. That is so cool.
So yeah, you can.
You don't want to mess with this guy. My God.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Steve, can we talk about some of the sculpted details on his uniform? Because I see a lot of little pops of red. And
for sure.
Really cool features there.
Yeah. Okay. So, in his head, well, up here you have an antenna for receiving and sending instructions, different things like that. You've got a little eye on the side here that's for targeting, and then there's sort of a line similar, kind of like a Cyclops kind of look from the X-Men. So he's got thermal vision and night vision, and then over here you have little throwing knives. There's 5 of them across his chest, right? And then there's 3 ninja stars on each side of his leg, and then down here you've got the little
side.
to the side. Thank you. All of a sudden I went blank, right? So he's got a sai on each side.
That's awesome. I love how those are sculpted in there.
So great. I mean, you all remember, Scarlet had the throwing stars sculpted on her glove, and that was just such a wonderful detail. Deshko with his wrist rockets and other little sculpted details that, while they didn't come out and you couldn't function with them, they really did add a lot to the character. And, just like that, this character, brings back those same feelings. So I love it.
And this guy is another one that, just like Rooster. Oh, these are a bit sticky here. Hang on. Just like Rooster, he has the multi-pack system. So his backpack comes apart as 2 pieces, right?
Yes.
But they can be worn, so you can wear the bottom part on its own, or you can wear them together, or just the top part. So the top part, the gun goes on this peg, and I call it the light assault mode. And then when you put them together, I call it just the full carry. But the little hand swords clip into here. You can put the hands on these tiny little pegs there. They fit perfectly. And so there's a lot of play value in there with them.
It's incredible how you guys thought about everything and where to peg all the accessories so they can carry all their weapons with them. Even whatever they're not holding, they've got it wearing on their back. So you don't have to worry about, having all sorts of little loose pieces in an accessory bin. It's all contained in the figure, and that's awesome.
And this is an army builder figure, correct?
Yeah, so you can hopefully buy 300 of them and
Something that I also noticed too is even without the packs, the webbing looks natural, but when you put the pack on, it actually looks like they have straps coming around their shoulders and underarms, and it's I think that's a small detail that I think makes these ones stands out, because a lot of the vintage GI Joes, it's you just clip the pack in the back, and there's nothing holding it on. It looks so weird.
Right, eh? Right. Maybe they got Velcro on the back of their shirt.
Right.
Nice.
It just 6-inch figure still looks like he's just has his back like back.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, there'll be 25 USD each, and just so people know, we're partnering up with an orphanage in the Congo, and 10% of our profits will go to them. We're also partnering up with a new venture that's starting up in the Congo, where this one guy has I don't know too much about him just yet, but through the person that's doing the Congo orphanage, and I trust this guy, I've known him for 15 years. They are doing a new child rescue program. So he had a child rescue program going in Cambodia, and he rescued 700 girls from you know what kind of slavery. I don't want to say that word out loud.
Yeah.
And absolutely. So he's rescued 700 in Cambodia. So he's expanding to the Congo. So we are going to partner up with him as well to try to get as many children to safety and to healing afterwards. Make sure they're healthy, whole, well fed, and actually have a future. So we want to expand that as much as we can as time goes by. 10% is just a starter point. And just so people know that it's not just all about, buying me a Corvette. I don't really want a Corvette. That's not my thing.
You never asked me if I wanted a Corvette, so
Ken wants a Corvette.
Right.
He's got to look like Trax from G1 Transformers 1985.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, Steve, not only everything you're presenting here, obviously to us toy collectors, this is all just a yes, take my money. But to take that and turn this momentum towards such a great cause is really commendable. Yeah. So I applaud you, sir. Great job, man, and I'm more than happy to support that in any way I can.
Okay, I appreciate that. Well, we're only here for a short time, and if we're just here for ourselves, I mean, what's the point? What are they going to put you on your tombstone? He got fat, and he really enjoyed the sound of his own voice, right? So it's like, well, no,
that's what's going on my tombstone. But
you do really
maybe through my employment of Delta-17, we can change that.
We'll redeem you. Yeah, that's right.
We'll redeem me.
Yeah.
Rescued by Death Sparrow.
That's right. Death by Sparrow. Anyways, I should watch it there. All right. So this is Jaguar. So he is Shadow Dragon's second-hand man. Right, he's his lieutenant, so to speak. Jaguar does not speak ever, and it's not like a Snake Eyes thing where he's taken some vow or he can't speak. He's not mute. He just wants to hide his identity to such an extent. So we don't know if he's British, is he Scottish, is he Japanese? We have no idea, right? And so his face mask never comes off, his goggles never come off, and he never speaks. He's got a Chris Vector submachine gun, which is a beautiful gun. And he's got 2 sword batons that we finally got really dialed. They sit in there very, very snugly. So he can, so he can hold them with the blade kind of going, backwards along his forearm as a blocker. And then he spins them around so that they're poking straight out. So he can use that as an offensive sword, right? And then he's our silent assassin as well as our close quarters combat. Like, so close quarters, swords, and then from a distance, he's got his sniper rifle here. It's got a removable bipod, and our bipod system is really nice. It's really snug. I wouldn't recommend, taking it on and off like 100 times in a row. You'll probably end up breaking it. Just enjoy the fact that it works really nice. It's nice and snug. It holds its position, whatever position you put it at, and leave it alone, right? But it pegs onto the backpack with little pegs and holes, and if you want, you take the submachine gun, the Vector, and you put that on the pack, and then you use the sniper rifle. So whichever one you're using, you can stow the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that one was sculpted by Jesse Sandifer, right, Steve? But our other sculptor, Tommy, has given his good praise to it as well. The Tommy, we did use your arms for this one, so
yeah, that's
you
right.
did use your upper and lower arms for these.
Yeah, that's Rooster, and that's Delta Squad over there. So it's
that's right.
Bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Silver Key, I was waiting for that. Waiting for that, and we all find it funny.
Boy.
So,
oh boy!
it's all good.
His camo pattern is unique and very interesting as well. I really enjoy the way that works out there.
Oh yeah, I was very specific. I pity the people at the factory. It's like, no, the angles, the spacing of every, and where the tips end up is all very, very important, right? So we went through quite a few iterations until they got it dialed in. So I'm really happy with how it is right now. The width of it, the length of it, blah blah blah. And I'm just I got to learn how to take a chill pill for sure. So then we've got, of course, Death Sparrow. We already went over her, but who is her army? She's in charge of who, right? So we've got then these guys are Spetsnaz troopers. We call them the Thunder Battalion. And even though this one is our FEP, so it's almost our final, they got the face mask color wrong. His face mask will be a light gray to match the belt, so that way there's a bit more contrast, right? So that part's nice. But he comes with an AK-12, which is a really nice gun, a backpack with a little paint app on it, so you can see the rope. Yeah. And then,
I like the little medical pack on the back.
I was gonna say it's a little med pack, huh?
Yeah. That's a sweet detail.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So then he's got the Atlin Soviet Spetsnaz helmet. Those are their real-life titanium helmets. The helmet is removable. It sits on there really nice and snug. Nothing's going to fall off, right? And it comes with two different visors. So one visor is a see-through where you can see it clips up. When you put it up, it actually will clip into place. One visor is open so you can see his eyes, and the other one is red, so it gives it a bit of pop. And some people are like, well, why is it so big? And, it looks like a welding helmet. It's like, well, it's really hard to scale these things into something that's thin and looks like its real life counterpart, because you'd end up with basically a sheet of paper, that just wouldn't work.
It's perfect. It looks great.
Yeah, I enjoy it when it's in the up position. It looks really intimidating, right? Mm-hmm. So he's good. We also got these tiny little tempos on his arm as well as Death Sparrow, so you can see that they've got their full Retrograd logo on there.
That's great.
And let's take the pack off here, and you can see he's got a really nice removable belt. So it's similar to the Snow Serpent's belt. Yes. And it's nice flexible PVC. I think it's 60-degree PVC. So it's really flexible.
60 or 70. I can't remember whether I think you told me we dialed down to 60. Okay, yeah. At Joe Fest, I know we were at 90 and you said it was really rigid. I remember trying to hold it and it was really hard to take off. And then you said we were going to dial it down to 70-degree, but you were also going to talk to our product.
Is that what the degree means? How flexible the
there you go.
Final product is? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. At 90, it was really rigid. I held that in hand. And Steve was going to talk to our project development manager on that, and I guess they got it down to 60 degrees. So it's more like the Snow Serpent now.
I really thought that was a sculpted on piece, and the fact that it comes off is so cool.
Yeah, so nice. Yeah.
Well, thanks. Thank you.
We have this gentleman to thank for that. So
yeah, and it was hard actually getting some of the dimensions for just the way how it just pops in, right? And that's the same attachment style as what Outback has. So it's a little bit more simplified compared to Snow Serpent or Spirit with their pull through. This one just pops right in really, really easily. And we had to figure out every little, point.
That's not easy to do. So bravo, man.
Yeah, hats off again to Tommy. So we're really pleased with that. And it looks really, really cool. And it's all based off of, what the Spetsnaz troopers actually use a loadout very similar to this. So we just added a few things and, gave them some diagonal pouches here and a red pouch there and a couple of other things to make them a bit more unique. But in reality, he's very similar to real life Spetsnaz troopers and what they wear, their loadout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the wrists do swivel, Beta Ray Bob.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bob, thank you for your coverage of us on your Joe Fest video as well, because you did spend some time at our booth as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah.
I know the comic hasn't come out yet, but right now I'm kind of rooting for Death Sparrow and the Thunder Battalion. I know once the comic comes out, I always favor the good guys, and that's something that in just about every video game, everything. So I'm probably gonna stick with Delta-17. But right now, I want to see these. I want to see her and these guys just tear stuff up. I just want to see them in action.
There will be. Issue number 1 is what I call a barn burner, so we're going to have maximum carnage in issue 1. We'll slow it down a little bit for the first half of issue 2. You have to build up some dialogue, and people have to recover and actually stitch up some wounds and different things and bury some bodies. And then the second half of comic number 2 is the first one's called Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, and the second one is Between the Hammer and the Anvil. So
please tell me the pop makes it.
blazing.
Let me know when you need me to sit down and throw some attention to issue 2, Steve. I think I have a little bit of runway. So
yeah, oh, no problem. Yeah, we got to just get the only reason why number 1 isn't being made right now is just because I have to gather so many resources for the artist. It's like you need so to start off, just to get all of these people drawn and the weird Datsun 510 that they'll be driving and the helicopters, all the guns, the village that they're located in, and references for that, the new characters from Wave 2 that will be appearing in some of the comics. It's a lot of work. So yeah.
All right. I think that covers all 11/12 characters we wanted to talk about, right, Steve?
Yeah, that's unless there's some that I forgot about.
Okay. No, that's.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
That's a new character.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him before.
New character from 1985.
Exactly.
So I know, Will, you've got a stream in just over an hour here, so you can feel free to use whatever screenshots here or the picture of the carded figures I sent you the other day for you and Jim to use. And one thing, just so people are aware, did I say this earlier? I think I said it before we started the stream, but they do fit in the standard star case. Nice. So the card back is the same size as the old school G.I. Joe Real American Hero cards. And it's also the same size as the Skeletron, Skeledrones card. So amazing. Totally works.
So the card art. Can you hold up that card art so we could see the cross sell and like the?
You know what? I'm gonna let me grab one that's not inside a case.
Okay. But yeah, I'm ripping all of these open. As much as I love that card art, I gotta play with these.
Wow.
So yeah, the reason you can tell these are still the FEP samples is they don't have a Steve. The barcode's going on the back or the front? I think it's the back.
On the back, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to be just a barcode sticker you put on. I think it's actually going to be like inked in, right? Printed. Okay, yeah. So that's how you can tell that that these are the FEP samples. So yeah, that's where we're at. And,
we also upgraded to a 1mm card. We were at a 0.78 and it was just kind of chintzy. So the upgrade was only 8 cents, which came out to actually quite a bit when you times it by all the figures. But anyways, it's really, really worth it because when you get it in hand, it's like, oh, this is nice, right?
Yeah. And Tommy, we did leave Rooster a little bit taller. Like everyone else is 3 3/4. He's 4. And so is here. Let's just switch this up. So is Preacher.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm supposed to do it like this. And Beta Ray Bob asks, oops. Okay, yeah, he sees now, but yeah, they're glued on. They're not going to slide off like the Eagle Force ones.
Yeah, we almost did that, and then we switched away from it. So
we had a long talk about that one. So
yeah,
you can see the heights now, Tommy.
Yeah.
So anyway,
cool.
He's looking beautiful, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, yes to all of them. Bravo. Brilliant. Well
amazing,
done.
Amazing work.
Steve, the fact that you did this all, you did this on your own. You didn't do a crowdfunding campaign or anything like that. The fact that you've just believed so much in your project that you just brought it to market. It's just coming out. Like there's no anything else about it is absolutely amazing. And I commend you for that as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have done it without Ken. I couldn't have done it without Tommy. You know, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of people, but yeah, it's been a metric-ish ton of work, but I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope it works out, and you have unprecedented success in this line. I know I'm going to be buying at least 2 of every figure, and then multiples of the army builders. So
wow. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I cannot wait, and all I can say is I wish there were more Steves in the world, and I could give them my money.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to see. Well, more toy connections.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
Spelled the proper way this time, yeah. And we'll definitely see you at Joe Fest next year.
Oh yeah.
And we have been talking, Steve, about going to PowerCon next year.
Yep.
The latest reports from PowerCon, I know some people were asking in the chat about that, is that it's become the independent toy capital of the world. And apparently people are saying this would fit right in. So yeah, I mean, it shifted away from being the He-Man exclusive convention. So we've got a lot to look forward to. We'll definitely be looking forward to reviews on these. I just put it out there. I cannot formally review these because of conflict of interest. Now, what I will disclose is because I didn't do the physical design, I can say they look cool, but I'm not going to be telling you how awesome the story is or how awesome the bios are that way, or how awesome the comic is going to be, because I have too deep a hand in that. For the color patterns, there was a few times where
Ken, you could just interview yourself, change shirts, change your camera angle, and just talk to yourself. And Ken, I really like how you've written this. Oh, thank you very much.
Ralph will interview me. Let's put it that way. We'll get Ralph to interview me.
We can handle that part
that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
No worries about that part.
The only input I had on the design is when Steve would be stuck between 2 colors, and he would call me up and be like, "I'm really stuck between these 2 colors," and I'd be like, "Well, put it against this, put it against that, and see which one pops more. And if you're going for more muted, go with that. If you want it to pop, go with that." Like that's how. I heard that Mondo had was it maybe the 3rd largest booth there and 3rd largest presence there behind, because 4 Horsemen was king at PowerCon, obviously, and I heard Super 7 had the next largest presence and the next most attention because of the Cat's Lair, and I heard Mondo was right behind them on that. And I imagine Tommy would have been at PowerCon. Now that I'm talking about this, Tommy's West Coast, right? Anyway, Tommy can tell us if he was in
California.
Yeah, so he's out where Michael and Sorceress are. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Tommy is doing all sorts of crazy stuff for Mondo. He did their Battle Cat, that crazy articulated one, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Merman, I think. I don't really know Motu names, but all the crazy stuff that they're putting out right now that you just go like, holy crap.
Wow, I'd love to see that. Does Tommy do anything on social media that we could follow?
He's on ArtStation. If you look under Tommy Hodges, and I think he's on I don't know. Is he on Instagram?
I literally talked to him on here. All the conversations I have had with Tommy are here. So
okay.
Like when he comments, I'll be like, "Hey, Tommy, I wanted to tell you this 2 years ago, but you're here now." So
yeah.
Well, amazing work, Tommy.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. You did a killer job.
That. So, Will, I know you got to go. I know you're going live in about an hour, and I know the rest of us on the West Coast have lunch plans. But Well, why don't you tell us what you're up to and what you'll be covering? Well, whenever. I know you have.
Yeah, sure. So, years ago, I started a channel, and it was going to be focused on 1/18 scale toys, which is just my favorite scale. Nothing against anyone else's. I do enjoy toys from all different scales, but 1/18 just holds a special place in my heart. Then I decided that I was kind of just limiting myself to just 1/18. So I changed my name to Wilhelm Toy and Hobby and continued on and just did a little bit. And lo and behold, now I host a 1/18 scale exclusive show every Sunday where we just talk about 1/18 scale stuff. So we just came all the way around. And it's called the 1/18. And it is just a community show where all lovers of 1/18 scale could come, gather around, show off your cool stuff, talk about toy lines that people may not know exist, and have a good time. So,
nice.
We cover 1/18 scale news, reviews, customs, but it's mostly a community-driven thing. So we'll be featuring several pictures that were sent in from viewers today of customs that they did and things that they found out in the wild. So I love to see you there. I'll be there at 3:30 Eastern.
His link's in the channel below. And Michael, Sorceress, talk to us about Toy Habits as a website and what you got coming on the channel.
So what we have in the works, always trying to dig up any dirt we can around Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, and other properties. I do have a Mattel Creations Fangor en route, so we'll be doing a still image review in comparison with his classics figure, which is fantastic. So we'll be throwing that on the website and YouTube. And Toy Sorceress, what else do we have going?
I just dug up Wave 5 of DC Superpowers figures on Walmart's website. There's no photographs yet, but we have all of the links, and hopefully they'll go up for pre-order soon. We don't know when, but the links are all there. It's an exciting line. I know a lot of people are enjoying the Superpowers line. So all of Wave 5 is featured on our website right now, so you can find the Walmart links there. And of course, any breaking toy news we will be covering. And of course, we're going to do some features on Delta-17 coming up.
Thank you.
I'll be there.
Guys. I am super proud of the work that you've done. This is so impressive. Ken, you're such a great friend of the channel. It's such a close friend of mine. I'm glad we got to get to know each other more today and lately, and that you have us on your show today. So proud of what you guys have come up with. I can't wait to get these figures in hand. These look great. And at a $25 price point, seems more than fair. Absolutely great value for an independent toy line with so much incredible detail, accessories, all the thought you put into these. I can't wait to see what else you guys come up with in this new line. And congratulations to the whole team. Want to give you guys an amazing hand.
Oh, jeez. Thank you very much.
Keep up the great work. This is awesome. And I'm faring quite well. It's raining out here, but there's supposed to be a hurricane hitting LA. I think we're fine.
we got some wildfires a few hours north of northeast of me right now. But Steve, I know you've had the floor for most of this, but is there anything else you wanted to talk about, or?
Nothing that I know of. I don't know. Just keep an eye on our socials and our website, and we'll keep everyone informed. And
we will have a much bigger presence at Joe Fest next year. I know this time. Will, you saw we had the 1 6-foot booth table with the banners around. We've asked for 2 full-size booths this time. So we'll see where we end up. Early word is that I think Ed wanted to put some of the independent creators together, so maybe we'll be next to the O-Ring, the other O-Ring.
That'd be really cool.
Folks. And it was great getting to know them. And we talked to people like, they're going to buy a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and make their own massive 1/18 setup.
Absolutely.
So,
and guys, if you need help with that extra booth, I'll be at Joe Fest, and I do work for food. So,
well, you know what, Will? I mean, you're a pretty big dude. What's your martial arts and training experience and background? Because I wouldn't mind having a bodyguard.
Oh, nice.
Just Ken's bodyguard, not necessarily that you wear the shirt, but just Ken's personal bodyguard.
Yeah, nice.
I could do that. Just hold people back. Hold one of those flashlights that blocks cameras. No photos. No photos.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining today. Thanks everyone in the chat. And we'll talk soon. You can follow all these fine individuals on the social media portal links below. Otherwise, we'll talk to you soon. Talk to you next week. And have a good one. Take care.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.